Who loves dunking their Oreos in milk? So I was dunking my Oreo the other day and I was thinking of a couple of things. The first thing was, have these things gotten smaller? And the other one was, I wonder if I could replicate this look in epoxy resin. Now I think it's going to be quite simple. All I have to do is mix up some white resin for the milk, take my Oreo, half set it in the milk like this. Then my plan is to try and mold my fingers, make a silicone copy of that, put that around the biscuit and then clear on top. What do you guys think? Easy, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is make a mold of my fingers. And I'm going to do that with some alginate. Ah, crap. My alginate's out of date. Used by September 2020. Now, if any of you guys have used alginate, you'll probably know that if it's out of date, it just doesn't set properly. That's a bugger. Now, I know you're not meant to, but I do have some super fine casting stone. I wonder if I could get that to work. So to mix up this casting stone, I need to make a 2:1 ratio of casting stone to water. I think I need a bigger cup. Alright, here goes. Wonder how long this takes to set. There's a bit of suction in there. I just got to do this nice and easy because I don't want to damage the inside. Wow, I think I've done it. That actually wasn't too bad. That was only a couple of minutes. So now that my mold's all dry, it's time to mix up my silicone. Now that my silicone's all mixed, I'm going to go pop this in the vacuum chamber to get the bubbles out. Now there's a good tip that I can give you when pouring silicone. Do it from a height, that way the stream is nice and thin and that'll help get rid of the bubbles. Well, what do you guys think? Do you reckon this is going to work? Do you reckon we'll have a nice finger and thumb? Or do you reckon we're going to have a complete failure? I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Now while that silicone's curing, we can go ahead and do our first resin pour. Now I've already gone ahead and marked the cup here. That's the height that I want the top of the Oreo. And speaking of Oreos, I've gone for the double stuff. I reckon they're going to look a bit better. That's not too bad. Looks a bit better than the original ones. What do you guys think? Now that I've seen this Oreo in my fingers, I think I need to change my mark. In fact, I think I'm going to mark the height of the resin. One of the problems I'm going to have while casting this Oreo is keeping it in the air, but because I know that my finger and thumb is going to cover a bit of this biscuit, I'm just going to put through this skewer and that'll help keep it up. Well, that was definitely easier than I thought. It's now time to prep the resin, and for this one I'll be using Art Cast. To get our milk effect, I'm just going to use some white ink. Well, I think that's looking pretty good, but do you guys reckon this is going to work? Or do you reckon my Oreo is just going to turn to mush and fail? Now, I'm not going to run the pot cam for this one. I'm going to save pot cam for when we do the top layer. So I'm going to go pop this in the pressure pot now and we'll check on it a bit later. So it's now the next day and it's time to see if our silicone fingers work. I'm not sure whether I should just try and pull it out or break away this casting stone. I think I might break it away. Well, they didn't turn out too bad. I think all I'll have to do is give these a rinse under the tap and they'll be good to go. Well, now that they're all cleaned up, they look good to go. Let's just hope our casting looks the same. Well, that turned out pretty good as well. But to be honest, it's not this pour that I'm worried about, it's the next one. So to do the second pour, I'm going to take it out of this cup and put it into a fresh one. That way these cuts that I put in the side don't stuff us up by leaking the resin out. Imagine snapping the cookie off now. I have to start all over again. Now it's time to position my fingers, and I'm just going to put them straight over those holes that we put in. So now that I have my little sausages where I want them, it's time to pour on the clear. Now I am going to make one more small pour, but I'll explain more about this one later. Now it's time to pop these in the pressure pot. What do you guys think? Do you reckon it worked? Or do you reckon we got a mushy cookie? Well, it doesn't look too bad. I think the biscuit might have gone a little mushy, but I think it's okay. So the next thing I need to do is try and pull my fingers out of here, and then we're going to pour in some more resin and fill up those voids. The biggest thing I need to watch here is that I don't crack this cookie where the fingers are touching. Okay, that's one out. There we have it. Not too bad at all. I've gone ahead and mixed up my resin for our next pour. Now to make this look like my skin colour, I've got some of this yellow pink acrylic paint. I'm just going to put a bit of that in. I can't say I'm extremely happy with it, but unfortunately this is all I've got. So it's just going to have to do. Time to go back in the pot. So it's now time for our final pour. Do you remember this from earlier? Did any of you guys figure it out? That's right, we can't have milk unless it's in a glass. Okay, now it's back in the pot for one last time. Now there's one more thing I want to do before we take a closer look, and that is make it more of a glass shape. I'm going to take the ribs off the side here and round over the top a little bit. So I've been thinking, and I've decided I want to give this one away. So once this video hits 10,000 likes, I'm going to pick a comment at random and send you it. Well, it's all polished up and it's time to take a look. But before I do, I want to mention that I'm not too happy with the colour of my fingers. I think if I had my time over again, I would have used a pigment instead of a paint. It still looks good, but wasn't quite the look I was going for. And for all you OG fans out there, I've brought the music back.